Good morning! Good morning! On behalf of the 40,000 hardworking men, women in the Central Florida AFL-CIO, welcome to Orlando, the happiest place on earth. But let's think about who's really happy. My name is Eric Clinton and I'm the president of the Central Florida AFL-CIO. I was elected to this position this past August 14th. The Central Florida AFL-CIO represents over 100 local unions and over 40,000 members. I'm also the president of Unite Here Local 362, that represents 7,000 workers in the hospitality industry. Unite Here as a total represents 21,000 workers here in Central Florida, including our sister local, Local 737, which represents 14,000 workers, including the workers in this hotel. I've spent the majority of my life in this community. Well, even though I wasn't born here, this is my home. I actually went to elementary school, middle school, and high school just miles north of here. And when I started working at Disney 15 years ago, I learned what the happiest place on earth was really about. And I can tell you, I don't live in the happiest place on earth, and neither do my members. Central Florida has roughly 1 million jobs, and 20% of them, or 200,000, fall in the tourism industry. That's housekeepers and cooks, bell pursers, theme park attendants, food servers, and bellhops. The hospitality market in most cities is only 10%. And ours is double. There are more hotel rooms in this city than anywhere else in the world. There's more convention space in Orlando than anywhere else in the world. And we're not happy. We don't live in the happiest place on earth, and this is why. The Orlando Sentinel just recently reported that Orlando is last in the major metro market areas in this country for pay. In the report, it states that 37% of the jobs in this town make less than $25,000 a year. That's the highest percentage in the country. It's double of Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is a town built on the same exact industry. The report also says that we saw a decrease in the median wage each year over the last 10 years, where the median wage is actually under $30,000 a year. This affects every member of our community. Take, for example, a school teacher who doesn't make enough money as a school teacher and also has to have a part-time job waiting tables at Disney. It's a very real thing. And those real things lead to families being torn apart by work schedules, being torn apart by bad immigration policy, and it also makes us the 10th hungriest community in the country. 21.5% of the people in the Orlando-Kissimmee area struggle with food hardship. Families deciding between medical care and food on the table is a reality. Families being dependent on welfare and WIC is the norm, and families living in the lowest levels of society is very real. So let me ask you, is this the happiest place on earth? No. Let me rephrase the question then. Who do you think is happy? The boss is happy, that's for sure, right? Think about Darden, who bases their headquarters here, the largest food service company in the world, where since 1991 they have lobbied steadfastly to keep the server minimum wage across the country at $2.13 an hour. And at the same time, in the same breath, giving their CEO a 23% increase each year since 2005 for a total salary of $8.5 million a year. You'd be happy. Well, what about the largest entertainment company in the world? Disney. Where last year, 2012, was the best year in history for profit for Walt Disney World. They made $5.7 billion, with a B, dollars in profit. That's not revenue, it's profit. When Walt Disney ran the company, he made 54 times more than a housekeeper. Today, the CEO, Bob Iger, makes over 800 times more than a housekeeper. Or what about the city beautiful, Orlando, where police officers were just given a generous pay increase of 2%. And at that same exact meeting, where the city commission authorized that, the city commission and mayor gave themselves a 21% increase. So you'd be happy about Orlando, about record profits, about a political makeup that bows to your every wish, and about stagnant labor costs. You'd live in the happiest place on earth. And keeping it this way is a priority. And they've shown it. Look at the way Disney and Darden led the fight against earned sick time right here in Orange County. They unlawfully used lawmakers as puppets to block a citizens' initiative that would have made earned sick time a reality for all workers in Orange County. And when it looked like, just for a second, that might actually become a reality, they said, no, we're going to go to Tallahassee and we're going to bar this all across the state. And that's exactly what they did. Advocating for stopping the increase in minimum wage is a priority for these corporate giants. Their continued greed will not stop in the pursuit of more money in their pockets and less money in ours. And if you remember what Alan Grayson said last night at the event about Washington, D.C., there's a showdown looming about funding the government or defunding Obamacare. And while Obamacare isn't perfect, it's a first step to having health care as a right in this country. And that's why all of us here together today are trying to change the world. Our members are standing up shoulder to shoulder with all of you. Our goals for making the world a better place are shared. I can tell you countless stories of my members in my union who are fighting to break the chains of poverty from the hospitality industry every single day. We must work together to accomplish a better workplace and world. You know, electing politicians who say they support labor isn't enough. They actually have to show it. We have to demand from elected officials policies that will grow our unions. Why do we support a politician who supports building a new sports stadium with taxpayer money, but to build it non-union and to operate it non-union makes absolutely no sense, sisters and brothers. Instead, we should be insisting that every time a new road is built, or every time a school is refurbished, or every time there's a new sports venue with public taxpayer money, that it's not only built by the building trades, but that it's operated by the rest of our unions. Recruiting workplace activists is critical, and training them to how to be leaders at work is essential. Empowering actual workers is the only thing that will make our communities a better place. I can tell you about Lynn and Brandy, who work at a restaurant at the airport. One's a bartender and one's a server. Just over a year ago, they had a workplace of fear. A workplace where they had hours stolen, forced tip sharing, no breaks being offered, and a management group who made them live in fear of their jobs each and every day. Well, today, Brandy and Lynn, they run that restaurant. They run that restaurant, but they didn't buy it, okay? They don't own the restaurant, they run it because they have a voice in the job through their union where they were empowered for real respect and dignity. And we can do all of this if the people in this room work together, and not just for the next 3 days, but forever. We continue to work together. I know coming out of this convention that we can make Orlando and the rest of the state of Florida a better place. When workers in a hospital, a hotel, a school, or a job site organize, they raise their family standards and all of those around them. This creates a stronger community and has shared prosperity. So that's why we must organize. Real equality on the job is something that we can never give up on, and we'll fight every day to change. And until that happens, sisters and brothers, the fight continues. Welcome to Orlando. Thank you.